What's good, people? Sim Football Critic here, coming to you live from the man cave. As you can see, got the fat head back there, got my gear on, big bulky sweatshirt, got on the hat. I'm always repping the Steelers, guys. I don't care if the season is over. I don't care if we are 0-16 or 16-0. I'm going to continue to rep the Steelers, and that's just how it is. So real quickly, guys, we're going to do a quick recap of the 2013 season. Then we're going to run into the next topic at hand, which would be Wildcard Weekend. So real quick, guys, we go 8-8. It's not a losing season. It's not a winning season. But, it's definitely good to see that we got some momentum going late in the season. The offense started playing really well. Even the offensive line, kept being pretty clean. Second half of the season, we did still give up a few sacks, but, that happens to every team. But we definitely started gelling, putting up points. Antonio Brown's playing out of his mind. Le'Veon Bell got going, which I knew he would. That guy's going to be special for us. Mark my words. He stays healthy. He's going to be special for us because you can already see what he's capable of. And we did fairly well, man. The defense is the area that I think we definitely need to address. I think we need to continue to get younger on the defense, particularly in the secondary. Palomalu played great this season. Great. Ike Taylor played pretty good as well, but I've been saying this for a couple years now. Ike is getting a little older, so it's starting to show. He still plays aggressively, and I still would love to have him on my team, but I'm just saying, it's definitely time to start getting some other guys in there to solidify that spot, over the next year or two, once Ike, his career comes, short and, closer and closer to being over. Ryan Clark, that's another guy that I love, man, but Ryan Clark right now is just not the best pass coverage guy, and he's never really been. But like I said, he's getting a little older and it's starting to show. Love him on run support though, so I'm not ready to kick these guys out of there. But I'm just saying, if decisions have to be made, I think defense is where they need to be made. If we have to cut some ties or get younger, it has to be on the defense. The defense this year was really the reason why I can't really say they're the reason why we didn't win a lot of games, but, for once, the offense, I think overall, over the full 16 games, I think the offense definitely outperformed the defense. So, you just got to look at what you got and we make the necessary adjustments. All right? Now, let's move on to Wildcard Weekend, and I'm going to address, first of all, Kansas City and the Colts. So, Chiefs and Colts. And let's talk about Kansas City first, because some people feel like what happened in the Kansas City and the Chargers game is the reason why we didn't make the playoffs. Well, that's really not all the way true. You start off 0-4, you can't expect to just walk your way in the playoffs. So, simply put, we definitely needed to do a better job early on in the season. But let's talk about that Kansas City game. First of all, let's talk about Andy Reid sitting his starters. Me personally, I don't agree with that. Reason being, look at how you guys have been playing over the last, 3 or 4 weeks. Not that great. You've lost some games and you haven't looked that good. So me personally, my philosophy would be we're going to continue to play because I need to see how my guys react in real game situations going into the playoffs. Now, I know you want to protect against injuries and things of that nature. I understand that. I mean, come on, we all understand that. But injuries are a part of the game. You could rest your guy and he'll mess around and get hurt on the first play the next game that you play. And sorry that I'm looking down, guys. I'm just trying to, keep the playoff teams up here. I got it here on my phone just so I can reference the right games or what have you. But, yeah, the guy could get hurt in the very next game. So my point is play these guys. Let them play and see how they play during real game situations, especially since you don't get a bye. Keep them hot. And like I said, especially since those guys hadn't been playing that well over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And at the end of the day, I just wouldn't have done that. And Kansas City they still almost won. Brings me to the next point. Let's look at the Chargers that's going to be in the playoffs. They don't deserve to be there. Kansas City's backups, I believe it was 20 players or 22 players or whatever, backups almost took them out. And hadn't Ryan Suckup, had he not missed that, they would be sitting at home. And the Steelers would be in the playoffs. So, I'm not being biased, guys. I'm just saying, the way that they perform, their starting lineup, against backups, nah, I don't think they got a chance. But it is what it is. But yeah, so let's talk about the predictions here. I actually think the Colts are going to pull this game out, partly because of what I just said. I think the Chiefs, I think that resting those players, I don't know. They might not be ready to play. Now I'm not naive, guys. I know they're the NFL players, they're superstar. I understand it. I'm just saying. I think sometimes you should keep your guys in the groove. Keep them hot. You sit them, and you try to get too comfortable. You got the Colts coming out. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be swinging. And I think, the Colts might walk away with it. Just my opinion. I think the Chiefs are going to get upset in the first week. So we'll see. So then we got the Saints and the Eagles. This is a tough one. Now, most of you guys that follow me on Twitter, y'all already know I'm going for the Eagles. I'm rooting for the Eagles throughout the playoffs because if Pittsburgh is not in there, I got to go with my PA natives. So I'm rooting for the Eagles all the way. Now, one would say that the Saints should go in there and run over top of the Eagles because we all know the Eagles' defense isn't that great. They've been playing better, much like the Steelers. They've been playing better defense in the second half of the season. The only thing that concerns me as far as the Eagles' defense, look at last week. Jason Witten was pretty much having his way when they went to Witten. Look who they're going to have to guard this week as far as tight end. Jimmy Graham? It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I'm torn on this one, guys. I'm rooting for the Eagles. I think the Saints, let's say this. If the Saints are clicking and they're playing well, it's going to be very hard for the Eagles to beat them just because of just offense, sheer offense. And I know both teams has the ability to put that offense up. But the one team that won't be able to stop the other team, like as far as when it matters, I think the Saints have the edge on defense. But I'm still going with the Eagles, and I think another thing that will determine this game is the conditions. It's going to be very cold. It might even be a little snow on the ground. I think the Eagles might sneak this one out. So, like I said, guys, that might be a biased guess. But I'm going to run with the Eagles, but they better be careful because the Saints are definitely coming to play. Chargers and the Bengals. Bengals. Nothing else left to say about that. Bengals. They're going to win that. I don't see the Chargers going into Cincinnati and winning that game. Cincinnati is a streaky team, though. I will say that. That I don't know what Andy Dalton was doing last week. He threw, 3 or 4 interceptions? Crazy. When we played Cincinnati, I don't know how we beat them like that. We beat them very well. It wasn't like we cruised to victory. We basically handled them most of the game, and then late in the game they were able to get some scores and bring it a little closer. But I was not expecting that. I said from the beginning of the season that I thought that the Bengals probably was the best team on paper. And they probably would win the division. Of course, I'm rooting for my team, but, and then after week 4, I definitely was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. And then, the Bengals just didn't take off. Times when they had chances to take off and be an elite team, they didn't do it. So I'm not sure, how far they're going to go, but I think they won't have any problems with the Chargers. Like I said, guys, the Chargers just snuck by the Chiefs. And they were using their starters against backups, and they should have lost that game. Oh, let me not forget in that game, the penalty that was not called on the field goal. Also, that was a fumble on that fake punt. That's 2 things that happened that shouldn't have happened that allowed the Chargers to sneak in. So, I think they're going to go to Cincinnati and get washed, and that's just my opinion. Now, last game we have San Francisco 49ers against the Green Bay Packers. Man, that's a tough one. And they're playing in Green Bay. It's going to be pretty cold, I'm pretty sure. Aaron Rodgers looks to be back, and he looks to be playing the game that he knows how to play. San Francisco, to me, look like a team that's been on the road for the last few weeks. And I think when it's all said and done, I think they will go into Green Bay and get the job done. Again, it comes down to defense. And maybe I'm a defensive-minded guy, but just, trying to use a little bit of football knowledge that I have, guys, from playing football and all of that. I understand what happens when you play a team that can score and your team can score. Let's say both teams have a powerful offense. It comes down to the defense because one of those teams' defense has to step up and make a play. And that's why a lot of my answers and my predictions always come back down to defense. Which team will be able to stop the other team when it matters? And I think San Francisco overall has a better defense. They're playing better defense than the Green Bay Packers. And I think it will be, a shootout. We saw it early in the season. The San Francisco won 34-28. I think it'll be another game just like that. And that proves my point. One of those teams made a stop when it was necessary. The other team got the ball back, and they scored. And then again, guys, sorry for the noise. My wife is up there cooking up a meal, so apologize for that. But anyway, about to wrap this video up, guys. But, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your predictions. And let me make sure I covered everything here. I'm pretty sure I did. All right, yeah. So looking at the teams here, let's give you a recap. So I'm going with Colts, Eagles, Bengals, and Niners. And we'll see if I'm right or wrong come Sunday night. All right, guys. So that's all I got for you right now. Stay tuned. I believe I got another Madden video coming out very soon. Probably even today. I'm not sure. But, I'm getting ready to get back in the swing of things, man. I've been extremely busy with the holidays and the baby. But, guys, about to, go full throttle. It's a new year, so let's go ahead and get it started, all right? All right, guys. Let me know what you think. Peace.